Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I proudly rise to tender my contribution and support to Budget 2016 under the theme, Stimulating Growth, Restoring Confidence, the Good Life Beckons, which has been prepared by the Honorable Member, Finance Minister, Mr. Winston Da Costa Jordan. Mr. Speaker, it will be remiss of me for not acknowledging and applauding the Honorable Member and his team of competent staff for bringing to this nation a budget just under 6 months from the last one. Honorable Member, I say well done. Budget 2016 is anchored on 5 pillars: national unity, national infrastructure, national institutions, national security, and public services. If one is to examine and analyze what is contained in this budget, one will conclude that it is a people's budget. This has also been confirmed by many who were once critical of government's budget, and they have applauded this AFC APNU government. Mr. Speaker, our government has set itself achievable goals which will engender hope and confidence in the Guyanese populace. We have embarked on a campaign to rid the spirit of this unity. For no longer will we allow for division and divisiveness to reign, but through initiatives adumbrated in this year's budget, will relentlessly pursue and develop a healthy nation and its environment which will be free from disagreement or dissent. Mr. Speaker, on May 11, 2015, the Guyanese people expressed their lack of confidence in the PPPC administration and voted them out of power. Guyanese were fed up with a high level of rampant corruption, which had a destabilizing impact on the country's natural and human resources. In this context, Mr. Speaker, in spite of the many challenges,
Honourable Member, please continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Let me just put the honourable members at ease. What I said, Mr. Speaker, on May 11, 2015, the Guyanese people expressed their lack of confidence in the PPPC administration and voted them out of power. Guyanese were fed up with the high level of rampant corruption, and I'm not imputing anything here. Transparency International report of 2015 shows that Guyana was still high in corruption. Mr. Speaker, in spite of the many challenges, our government has embarked on a policy of rebuilding by creating conditions and atmosphere for the nation to be revitalized to attain the concept of oneness.
Honourable members and members on the floor. Please continue, Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Of oneness, again, in its true sense. This can be viewed by many by way of the multiple transformations that would have taken place within the 8 months of the APNU-AFC government, which included, but are not limited to, paved streets and roads in communities that were neglected under the previous administration. Thus, as a result, our government has chosen the theme, stimulating growth, restoring confidence, the good life beckons. To contextualize, the theme seeks to address to all Guyanese that their government recognizes the need for healing and process has commenced, where all Guyana have been animated to be progressive and productive to transform this land from a state of decay and ruin, and with firm conviction, instill in all a new zeal to intensify growth and development. With this new vision and great dynamism, the nation of Guyana will be propelled into a new era where the sky is the limit. Mr. Speaker, my presentation will posit arguments on what were achieved in the latter quarter of 2015 and what are the projects for 2016 for the agencies under my stewardship. I now turn my attention to the Demerara Harbor Bridge. Mr. Speaker, briefly examining the performance of the Demerara Harbor Bridge, Inc. For the year 2015, the bridge continues to be a vital link for commuters between East Bank Demerara and West Bank of Demerara. The agency continued to ensure that maintenance works are conducted on the more than 3 decades old bridge so as to ensure that services are not disrupted. The sum of $90 million was approved as subvention in the fiscal year 2015. The sum was primarily used to assist in the procuring of wire ropes, rehabilitation of cluster piles, and fabrication of connected posts through the awarding of contracts via competitive bidding. Mr. Speaker, in the interest of time, a number of maintenance works were conducted at other areas by the Demerara Harbor Bridge, Inc. Since the upsurge in crime, the Demerara Harbor Bridge, Inc. has collaborated with the Criminal Investigation Department of the Guyana Police Force, where CCTV cameras have been placed at strategic locations on the eastern and western sides of the bridge and central Georgetown to aid in the rapid response both in criminal activities and traffic violations. Projections for 2016. The sum of $150 million will be spent. Mr. Speaker, this will aid in supporting the Demerara Harbor Bridge, Inc. in purchasing of materials to ensure that continuous maintenance are executed. Mr. Speaker, the budgetary allocation for 2016 is more than 2015 because we do not want a reoccurrence of what happened in 2012 when the bridge collapsed. Further, it is logical reason that with an old bridge and greater usage, because of the housing developments in Region 3 and 4, the probability of downtime may be higher. Notwithstanding our provisions, Mr. Speaker, government cannot continue to expend millions on maintaining a bridge that has expired its lifetime, and therefore, the construction of a new bridge is imminent. In December 2015, expressions of interest were received from 23 companies for the undertaking of a feasibility study and design of a new bridge across the Demerara River. The PPP administration wasted the taxpayers' money by investing in what can only be called dead projects, which could only have benefited a lucky few. A good example is the Marriott Hotel, a loss-making venture. If that same money was invested in the bridge project, Mr. Speaker, Guyanese today would have been enjoying use of a bridge, a much-needed facility that will serve the mass of Guyanese users. Our government will undertake projects that will benefit the people of Guyana and not just a select few as practiced by the PPPC administration. Therefore, construction of a new bridge will be accomplished under the APNU-AFC government. Mr. Speaker, I now turn my attention to the Transport and Harbors Department, one of Guyana's oldest river transport agencies, which is celebrating 85 years of service to the nation under the theme, Transport for a Sustainable Future, restructured, repositioned, and reinvigorated, and continues to offer scheduled services to the people who depend highly on river transport. Despite its old and rapid aging fleet of vessels, the ferry services remain and will continue to ensure a vital link in the transport network, primarily in the riverine areas of Guyana, at a reasonable cost to commuters. Mr. Speaker, in 2015, there was significant increase in passengers, cargo, and vehicles as compared to 2014. Mr. Speaker, in 2015, the Transport and Harbors Department received a total capital allotment of $602,500,000, which catered for the docking of 4 vessels, acquisition of spares, and rehabilitation of stellings, which commenced in 2015 and will continue in 2016. Forecast was given in other areas for maintenance and corrective works, both on vessels and stellings. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, $904,155,000 have been provided for rehabilitative works to be done on the MV Kanawan and MV Sabanto. This allocation also includes a provision for works on the goods wharf and the completion of works already being done on the Parika and Leg 1 facilities, and for phases 1 and 2 of the Baltica stelling. Mr. Speaker, not only is our government interested in repairing stellings and conducting maintenance works on vessels, this government is also committed in ensuring that our people who give up their years of services are made to work in a friendly environment. During the past years, staff were forced to work in conditions that are not in keeping with labor guidelines, which was heavily overlooked or neglected under the former PPPC administration. Hence, Budget 2016 gives provision for a total of $50 million, which will be used to construct a spanking new building to house the staff at the Transport and Harbors Workshop. Mr. Speaker, emphasis will be placed on the monitoring of the fuel consumption within this department. Mr. Speaker, to avoid excess spending in this area, I'm happy to report that effective 3rd February 2016, a CAP system for fuel usage was initiated, and this initiative, Mr. Speaker, will result in an estimated saving of approximately 100 million Ghana dollars per annum. Mr. Speaker, our government is keen in ensuring that unserved areas are given attention, which they will be able to benefit from solar panel energy, extension of electricity in regions 4, 5, and 6 respectively, and improved generator sets for Port Kaituma, Madia, and Matthews Ridge. The sum of $110 million, $999 have been allocated in this year's budget for the Hinterland Electrification, Inc. I now turn my attention to Hinterland airstrips. Mr. Speaker, the APNU-AFC government, in its 2015 manifesto promised to upgrade hinterland airstrips and key secondary roads to mining areas, forestry sites, indigenous villages, and other communities outside of our main settlement areas. As part of a coordinated and phased program of upgrading the air transport network to provide a level of feeder services, linking airstrips, mining areas, settlement communities, and social services, particularly health services. Mr. Speaker, our government intends to deliver on our promise as we understand that hinterland airstrips is a key infrastructure in facilitating connectivity by air between coastland and hinterland. As inherited from the PPPC administration, our government is dissatisfied with the state of hinterland airstrips. Within the last decade, there have been 2 deaths of passengers walking into aircraft propellers and numerous occasions of animals walking and grazing on airdromes. There is weak and non-existent security, non-existent navigational aids, no air traffic centers, and poor infrastructure and inadequate maintenance. As we understand it, these challenges are of inadequate funding, absence of an airdrome's development policy, severe staffing constraints within the hinterland airdromes unit that provide administrative and operational oversight for government airdromes. Mr. Speaker, in 2016 budget, $241,586,000 were allocated to complete and rehabilitate airstrips within Guyana. In addition, Mr. Speaker, a study has been initiated for the development of a comprehensive airdromes policy and strategic plan that addresses the deficiencies and problems affecting all airdromes. Mr. Speaker, I now turn my attention to the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority. When our government took office, the regulatory arm of the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority was grossly understaffed, and this is reflected in the poor state of affairs of the regulatory agency when I assumed the responsibility for GCAA. Mr. Speaker, our government, in its usual proactive response, adopted a posture that we cannot continue with business as usual. And therefore, since assuming office, our work mandate has been twofold. 1, fixing the broken, and 2, advancing the economy forward for a better life for all. It seems that most of our time in government so far has been fixing broken things. Mr. Speaker, when I assumed the responsibility for the GCAA, Guyana, which follows the guidelines of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, South America office, we suffered the indignity of having the lowest level of effective implementation of the standards and recommended practices established to ensure the safe and orderly development of civil aviation in South America region. A paltry 44%, Mr. Speaker, 44%. The regional average stands above 70%, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am happy to indicate, Honorable Gale, to this entire House that Guyana will not be blacklisted under this APNU-AFC government. As Minister, I intend to fix the problems that I inherited from the previous administration and to bring Guyana's compliance rating to at least, Honorable Gale, 60% in a short time. Mr. Speaker, the aviation sector is too critical of a sector to be neglected, as it was under the previous administration. The previous administration owes this nation an explanation for the state of affairs of this key agency and many others. Mr. Speaker, this House will be shocked to know that critical regulatory departments within the GCAA were staffed with only one technical officer. Further, Mr. Speaker, when I assumed office, the GCAA resembles Hollywood, with many staff acting for over 7 years, and some were mistreated by being placed on incorrect salary scales. Mr. Speaker, work has already commenced on improving the GCAA's oversight capability. Additional staff were employed in the Aviation Securities Unit, the Air Transport Management Department, and recruitment is presently ongoing to enhance the Aviation Safety Department. In addition, staff who held acting portfolios, Mr. Speaker, for several years were appointed, and also in consultation, this was held in consultation with the Guyana Public Service Union. Staff who were on the wrong salary scales were placed on the corrected salary scales. Mr. Speaker, I intend on getting the nation's business done properly. In November 2015, I attended the International Civil Aviation Organization World Forum, where a draft project document to aid Guyana's institution, listen, honorable member, to aid Guyana's institutional strengthening of the civil aviation safety oversight system was discussed with donor and lending agencies for consideration. Evolving from these discussions, the International Civil Aviation Organization has committed 80,000 Canadian dollars for the strengthening of the civil aviation safety oversight system in Guyana. Mr. Speaker, the personnel testing and licensing system of the GCAA, which is done manually and has numerous rooms for malpractice, is now being computerized. And this, Mr. Speaker, will facilitate institutional strengthening to improve Guyana's compliance level. This will bring Guyana on par with developed countries. Mr. Speaker, I am happy to inform you that on November 12, 2015, the use of automatic dependent surveillance broadcast, ADSB, as it is commonly known, commenced in the upper airspace. This being a milestone in the air traffic management operations in Guyana. In the coming years, ADSB will be commissioned in the middle and lower airspace. Mr. Speaker, our government understands the importance of civil aviation, and we have demonstrated this in Budget 2016 with the allocation of $430 million for the continuation of the automatic dependent surveillance broadcast project and institutional strengthening of the GCAA. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, the following projects will be completed. Economic impact study of civil aviation on the economy. This study will determine the economic impact of air transport on Guyana's economy. This study will assist government, industry stakeholders, and decision makers to better understand what the air sector contributes to the economy. It will also help the government to determine investment priorities and policy directives. National aviation policy, that's it. That's the second project, Mr. Speaker. Completion of a national aviation policy to guide the development of the sector in an orderly and well-coordinated manner. Mr. Speaker, in examining some of the measures in Budget 2016, Budget 2016 was a well-put-together budget that addresses the priority issues for our government for a better Guyana. The issue of used tires seems to have taken a considerable section in opposition's presentations. Apart from the fact that they've all zoomed in on the minor consideration in the budget and made a major issue, and also spoke out of context on the issue. I am appalled that no one zoomed in on the intent of the banning of used tires as a measure in support of our program of greening.
Honourable member, you have 5 minutes remaining.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the honourable member be given 5 minutes as an extension to her allotted time.
I thank the honourable member. Honourable member, you will speak for 35 minutes. Please continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I am appalled that no one zoomed in on the intent of the banning of used tires as a measure in support of our program of greening the economy and protecting the environment. I must say that the leader of the opposition, the Honourable Dr. Barra Jagdeo, was touted as champion of the earth and a spokesman for climate change. Yet, when our government proposed an initiative to stop making Guyana the garbage bin of the world, members of the opposition are resisting that prudent policy. No one took the time to study the cost-benefit analysis of such a move, nor did anyone acknowledge the fact that such an initiative will give Guyana a positive rating in its climate change efforts in truly greening the economy. Rather, the PPP is stuck in the old mode of photocopying textbooks. In concluding, Mr. Speaker, I appeal to my colleagues in this House, more so the opposition members, to give full support to Budget 2016 under the theme, stimulating growth, restoring confidence, the good life beckons. Renowned world leader, the late Nelson Mandela once said, and I quote, "It always seems impossible until it's done," unquote. Members of the opposition, you may say it is impossible and say it cannot happen, but they will see the transformation when it is done. Mr. Speaker, there are many Guyanese who are confronted. With a wow effect when they see the transformation in Georgetown. Budget 2016 has all the right elements for a transformed Guyana and for the creation of the wow effect to be magnified on a national scale. Mr. Speaker, we have transformed Georgetown and we will do it across Guyana. Mr. Speaker, permit me to paraphrase His Excellency, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, when he addressed the National Assembly on Thursday, 14th of January 2016, under the heading, and I quote, "Independence and Resilience, Our People's Path to Economic Progress," unquote. This is what he said, and I quote again, "We, the Guyanese people, this year celebrate the independence we gained 50 years ago on the 26th of May, 1966. We were inspired then by our national motto, one people, one nation, one destiny. We were encouraged now by our efforts to make that motto a reality. We renew our pledge to make our cherished homeland a place of unity, security, and prosperity. Budget 2016 for Guyana. Mr. Speaker, just before I take my seat, I heard the honorable members from the other side keep lamenting that our government, or this government, is repackaging and cutting and pasting their projects. But let me say this, that in this year, some 48 million pounds, the DFID program, the DFID program, we will see major projects being realized under this APNU AFC government. Upgrade of our stellings, upgrade of our wharfs, amongst other things. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, as we celebrate 50 years of Jubilee, allow me to share this scripture taken from the Holy Book of Romans, chapter 14, verse 9, which states, and I quote, "Let us therefore make every effort to do what leads to peace and mutual edification," unquote. Mr. Speaker, I commend Budget 2016 for its passage. Thank you, and may God richly bless us all.